continuing talking about preparing the local church. I'm teaching on preparing the local church for the 21st century. Preparing the local church for the 21st century. Luke chapter 13. Preparing the church for the 21st century. You can be seated. I want to read a few verses, and then we're going to have a conversation concerning the necessities for the church as we prepare to move in our prospective places. Verse number 6, the Lord spake also this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard. And he came and he looked to find fruit on it. But when he came, Minister Staten, there was none. Then he said unto the dresser of his vineyard, Behold, I have made this trip 3 years, and I came looking for fruit on this fig tree, and I have found none, and I'm tired of it. Somebody say, God's tired of it. I'm tired of it, so cut it down. The reason for my request for you to cut it down is, why allow this non-productive tree to consume good ground? And he answered and said unto him, Lord, let it alone this year also, till I dig around it and put dung around it. And if it bear fruit, you haven't lost anything. And if it don't, you don't have to worry about it. We will together cut it down. Can you say amen? Preparing the church for the 21st century. We discussed on last week that the churches in North America, y'all don't go too far, in North America is struggling worse than the churches in third world countries. We talked about the fact that in the 18th, 19th, and 20th century, America boasted about the fact that they were evangelizing these third world countries. But now we cannot boaster as much as we did then. Because now when we measure the spiritual climate in North America, those in Africa and other third world countries are now having to come to America and evangelize America. The discussion was, Deacon Young, is that there are at least 3 problems. One is that there is no ecumenical, ecclesiastical order in the Lord's church in North America. Second thing is there is no commitment in the church. And there is no consistency with that commitment, which then leaves the church lacking, because God the Creator gave us gifts, but we as Adam did have taken the gifts, ran away in a corner, and hid with those gifts. The gifts of God has been given, listen to me, to every person. Everybody has a gift, whether you're saved or unsaved. We all have a gift. When we look at Donnie McClurkin sings like an angel. But whether he was saved or not, when God gave him the gift, he could sing whether he was in the club or in the church. For some reason, we believe that the gifts are actually manifested the more when we get in the church. When all reality, if he was singing jazz, when God gives him a gift, his gift will work anywhere. God, I like this. But one thing about the predestination of God is that when he gives us gifts, he prepares those gifts for where he will place us. Whether it's in the church or whether it is in the club. He prepares us because he gifts us to accomplish his will in the earth realm. The church has spent so much time critiquing and criticizing people outside of the church until they have become anesthetized to the ideology that they have a lack in the church. Let me say it a little simpler then. They have gotten so caught up on what everybody else ain't doing until they have not yet discovered that those you think are not doing, in your estimation, in God's creative plan, process, and intention, they are actually doing more than you. Because we serve a moving God. From the beginning, he was moving. Genesis chapter 1. And God said, let there be light. And the Spirit of God hovered, moved over the face of the deep. Children of Israel in trouble. He told Moses, go down and bring them out. When they came out, he came out with them in a pillar of cloud. He was moving. And then when Jesus came, Jesus never meandered. He never sat back and enjoyed himself. He was always moving. And even in the book of Revelation, it says, come, Lord Jesus, come. So he's still moving. The problem with the most of our failing local churches in North America is we are saved. I ain't going to argue with you on that. That's between you and God. We should be delivered. I ain't going to argue with you on that. I ain't following you home. But one thing I can see is I can see what the owner saw when he came to check on his tree that should have had some fruit on it. You can say all you want to. I'm saved. Don't try to tell me I ain't saved. Don't try to tell me, can't nobody tell me I ain't saved. Well, I ain't going to sit there and have that argument with you. That's between you and God. But one thing I can say is it's a sad thing for you to be saved and gifted and have no fruit to show for your salvation. Y'all ain't going to matter with me. And your gifting. Because when you were born, God put at least one gift in every one of us. And he don't sit and get mad in the church about the folk who are prospering outside. The thing that they're doing that we're not doing is they're taking what they have discovered intrinsically and they're extrinsically putting it to an exchange, and they're starting to see themselves prosper in areas that you spend 2 weeks in prayer service praying that it happen. Yeah, I'm going to get really on your nerves today. See, because we need to stop this playing. We need to stop this joking around. And we need to look internally and come clean with the fact that we have gifts. We just choose to use our gifts somewhere else. Or we have gifts And we have also the spirit of laziness, a lethargic spirit, a spirit that's handicapped by the I can't do mentality, waiting for somebody to feel sorry for which side of the track you were born on. Don't make no difference what side of the track you were born on. God on all the tracks. He on the left side, he on the right side, he on the middle side. So don't be talking about, I was born on letter. You just don't understand where I am. You don't understand what I'm going through. Let me pump your brakes for a minute. Because you got brake trouble and an identity crisis. Because you have not discovered that you ain't the only one sitting up in here today that's going through something. Hunt your neighbor, say he going to get worse before he get better. See, you got to understand, the worst thing for you to do is to come in church and act like you the only one going through some trouble. Everybody that walked in the door got at least one thing that they dealing with. But that's why God gifted you and gave you the power that he gave you so you can deal with the problems that you will face every day. Because in life, we are called to be producers. God has called all of us to produce. Don't tell me how long you've been in the church and don't have any sign of how long you've been there. Now, let me help you understand what the sign is not. The sign is not a good shout. Anybody can make noise. Okay. All right. The sign is not praying in tongues. Even my grandbaby, I can't understand him. The sign is not who can sing the best. Y'all ain't gonna matter with me. The sign is not who drives the finest car. Okay, I feel it coming. The sign is not who's wearing the best suit. The sign is not who's got the best do. The sign is not who has got the upper position as an echelon in the church. But the sign that you are straight up working your gifts is that you've got some souls to show for your salvation. I found this out that most of our failing churches are being driven by people who have losing attitudes. Sit still or put your finger up. Most of our failing churches are being led by people who won't let go of what people said and latch on to what God said. People can say anything they want to. You ain't gonna never be nobody. You ain't gonna never amount to nothing. I counsel people sometimes, and they have real legitimate problems. They say, I can't move forward because of the words spoken into my mind. I said, but I'm glad you showed up here. Because you got to understand, in order to change your natural progressive strides, you've got to change the functionality of your thinking. Because the Bible teaches us, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Because here's what I understand. You can say anything in my mind that you want to. But it's up to me whether I allow what you say to dictate how far I go. Or y'all in here touch your neighbor and say he might not be talking to you, but he's sure talking to me. See, because I know what I'm saying is right. The reason being is because when I look around most of our failing churches in North America, I see a spirit of selfishness. What you mean? What you mean? What you mean? What you mean? Most people come to failing churches because they're coming for themselves. They're coming for their family. You don't believe me? Ask them when they walk out. I got my shout on today. My family gonna be blessed. My house gonna get blessed. My job gonna turn around. Always using the personal pronouns. But when you are in churches that have connected to the concept of growth and productivity for the glory of God, you're always hearing their conversation directed away from themselves. They're talking about who we gonna feed next,
Who we going to put clothes on next? Who we going to help go to college? Y'all ain't saying nothing back to me. Who are we going to help get through school because they're having problems in school because of one thing or another? The Bible said Jesus came to his tree that should have bore fruit and found nothing on it. And Jesus, we all like to say he's meek, mild-mannered, and all that. But I want to help you understand the reason why you get tired is because your creator get tired. Okay, I need to plow my way. Here I go. Watch this. God gets tired. That's why you get tired. Read the Bible. The Bible said he created the world in 6 days. And the seventh day, what did he do? So watch this. If you rest for a reason.